Hi, guys. How's everyone doing? I'm not at the beach today. I'm home. I'm in my office right now. So this is my combination of living room and home office. This is the home office corner. So this is my desk behind me. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can see my little desk area. Yep, that's it. This is my office. But I'll be honest with you, I'm on the couch half the times. When I'm writing my columns, when I'm on the phone with a client. It's usually on the couch. When I teach my classes, I teach in bed. No joke, I really do. Anyway, and when I do my podcast, I'm either on the couch or I'm in the living room sometimes. So I'm not here too often to get too much work done. Maple is in her spot right now. She's really annoyed at me because there are things in her way, in the way of her spot right now. Literally, I'm surprised that she's not barking because she's not very happy that I put a bunch of pillows there. Anyway, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Hi. Oh, this is fun. I'm reading all your comments. It's good to see everyone. Listen, I hope you can hear me okay. I was in no mood to deal with the microphone nonsense and all that. I got to tell you, it's a pain in the ass. It's a real pain in the ass, depending on what you're wearing. So I have my volume up as much as I can. I'm hoping that it's good enough for you all to hear. So please turn up your volume if you're listening, and welcome. So yesterday I actually did a live stream at the beach. I was bike riding, and I did a little video about the upcoming eclipse uh, in Leo, and I totally forgot that Uranus turned retrograde yesterday in Taurus at about 2.5 degrees. Let me just make sure. Let me give you the exact degree. I'm pretty sure it's 2.5 degrees. What day was it? The 7th, August 7th. Let me look at my ephemeris. Yes, 2 degrees, 33 minutes of Taurus. Uranus went retrograde yesterday, August 7th, and Uranus is going to remain retrograde now until November 7th of 2018 in Taurus. It's going to still be retrograde, but then it's going to go retrograde into Aries. Okay, so it's going to go retrograde into Aries on, on November 6th. Okay, and then Uranus is going to continue to be retrograde in late degree Aries until January. Trying to get all my dates together for you guys. January 6th, 2019. And at that point, Uranus is going to go direct at 28 degrees, 36 minutes of Aries. So this is very important for those of you watching who have planets or angles of your chart at the very end of a cardinal sign or the very beginning of a fixed sign. So I would say the 26th to the 29th degree of Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. Okay, this retrograde is going to be very significant for you with wrapping up some issues that you've been dealing with over the past year. And for those of you who have early degree fixed planets, Taurus, obviously, but also Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, the first, let's say 5 degrees, 4 or 5 degrees of those fixed early signs, you guys, oh, people, excuse me 1 second. My dog just grabbed tissues that she was not supposed to have. People, that's definitely not for you. Oh my God, she's like a 5-year-old. I had a box of tissues. See, I told you she was going to be pissed off because I had things that weren't supposed to be there. Oh, I'm glad I caught her. That was a mess. Okay, so anyway, sorry guys. This is what happens when you do live streams from your house. So, those early degree fixed sign people, you're feeling this right now. All right, you are totally feeling this right now. You've got Uranus, the planet of sudden instability, sudden chaos, sudden shakeups, stationing yesterday, and it turned retrograde. And so what happens when a planet stations is that it becomes extremely potent, for better or for worse. And with Uranus going retrograde now, all of that forward momentum that you guys were gaining with liberating yourself and getting yourself unstuck from those stuck patterns, all of that, now Uranus is standing still. Yesterday started backtracking. So now you get to actually reevaluate and reconsider all the chaos and kind of marinate on what the result of this chaos will be, or how you're feeling about the chaos. Just it's just strong energy now for you early degree fixed sign people. There has been a great awareness for you about what needs to change in your life. Absolutely. Since May 15th, when Uranus went into Taurus, significant awareness of where you're restless, where you need change, where you need these sudden shakeups, and where the tornadoes in your life have to happen. And that's been going on for you guys since May 15th, when Uranus entered Taurus. But now that he's about to turn retrograde and retrograde over those degrees that he initially moved forward in Taurus, it is the retrograde hit is always a time of reflection, always a time of marinating and seeing, what you're dealing with. Okay, there's a wonderful astrology book. Oh my gosh, is this Bernadette Brady's book on predictive astrology? It might be Bernadette Brady. I hope I'm not wrong. I think it is. I think it's Bernadette Brady, The Eagle and the Lark. And I love the way she describes each hit of an outer planet transit, because she talks about the first hit, the second hit, and the third hit. And sometimes if it's Neptune or Pluto, you can have up to 5 mathematical hits. To one of your personal planets or an angle of your chart is like, all of a sudden, according to her, and this is great, you're looking out your window and all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, is that a UFO? I'm being dramatic, of course. She doesn't say that in the book. That's Maria's style. When I write my book, that's what I'll say. So holy shit, there's a UFO on my front lawn. Wow, what do I do? I don't even know how to deal with the UFO. Okay. It is this total shock and surprise. That first hit of the transit is you becoming completely aware that something dramatic and major is about to happen or is happening to rock your world. Uh, the second hit, the retrograde hit, is you coming to terms with the fact that, oh, yeah, that's a UFO on my front lawn. What am I going to do about it now? How am I going to deal with it? Okay. So the retrograde hit, which is what we're going through now until January 6th. Okay. I'm also talking to the late degree cardinal people, because you're going to get the retrograde hit as well. Right. That retrograde hit is when you accept, it is one of acceptance. You accept the UFO on your front lawn, whatever that UFO is for you. You accept this crazy experience and situation that's happening in your life. And you marinate on it and you consider, well, all right, this is what I'm dealing with. What am I going to do about it? Then the third hit, which is going to happen after the planet goes direct again, and Uranus goes direct at 28.5 degrees of Aries on January 6th, that third and final pass over those degrees that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, that third hit is one of assimilation. You figuring out how these changes are now going to shape the next phase of your life. It's really fascinating to talk about the psychology of these transits and how they affect our lives and reflect in our experiences. So I hope that analogy was helpful. I'm pretty sure, let me see, let me show you this book, because I think this is the Bernadette Brady book. I'm pretty sure it is. And I think I have it right here. And the reason why I think it's her book is because I use this as a text for one of my classes, not a text, but I use it to talk to some of my intermediate students when I'm teaching them predictive astrology. I refer to this book. So yes, it is. It is. It is. It is. Okay. Oh, I have to read this to you because this is so great. And for you astrology students, I recommend this book highly. Predictive Astrology: The Eagle and the Lark, if by Bernadette Brady. Okay, she's a legend in our field, in our industry. If you're a total beginner to astrology, this book is not for you. I'm sorry. I'll recommend other books. Uh, but this is a book for the astrologer who has studied astrology up to the point of being able to now work with transits and understand predictive astrology. Okay. So let me see some of your comments. Your comments disappeared. Oh, hello from Paris. Thank you. Thank you for your kind words, everybody. Sorry, I don't mean to ignore you. I just sometimes I forget. I get lost into talking and then I forget that this is live. So, all right. So now exactly what I said. The first touch of the transit, which for you early degree fixed signs would have happened between May 15th and yesterday. Okay. It's not in our consciousness yet. It is being observed for the very first time so that it can become part of our conscious knowledge. So, and she gives the analogy the first hit of that transit can be very jolting, just like seeing, she says, a flying saucer, UFO on your front lawn. Like, what? What is this, right? So now, by noticing this, we decide that we're going to learn something from it. And this recognition, this acceptance is the second phase of learning. This is the second hit of the transit, which you're going to experience now. Now, you guys, early degree fixed people within the first, technically 3 degrees, you're having this second hit from now until November. And then Uranus is going to go into Aries. So you're going to recognize what you're looking at and you're going to accept. This is the second phase of learning in this transit journey for you. And then the final hit of the transit is happening for the late degree cardinal signs, 28 and a half degrees to the end of the cardinal signs. But there's an orb of influence. So if you have 26 degrees or above, I'll take it because you're going to feel it. You are going to feel it. Excuse me, feel it. So the second hit, the retrograde hit, you're owning your the issue, you're accepting your part in it, but you don't know what to do with it yet during the retrograde hit because the retrograde hit's internal. You're marinating on it, right? But now that third and final pass is where you move into assimilation. Like I said earlier, it's exactly what she said here. Wow, I basically memorized this. So the third hit is acceptance and assimilation. That energy that used to be so alien and foreign, it is now it's now integrated into our existence, integrated into our life. And so it's fascinating to think of transits like that. And why I'm bringing this up is because the Uranus station is a powerful time where, because Uranus is all about instability and chaos, it is very likely that you're experiencing a chaotic event right now if you have early degree fixed signs. And you have to figure out how to accept it. This is the acceptance portion of the transit for you guys. You have to accept that this is what you're dealing with now. I'm reading some of your comments. Somebody lost a job. Somebody's losing a marriage. You're pregnant. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that you're pregnant and your marriage is over while you're pregnant. I know that that's got to be extremely, extremely difficult. I'm very sorry. But what you guys are talking about is so reflective of the Uranian energy, plus also the eclipse energy. I mean, Jesus, let me tell you, we've got so much going on right now. To break it down and help you understand it piece by piece is hard as an astrologer to convey because there's just so much happening and everything means something different, but you're all experiencing major change and chaos in your lives right now because everybody is being hit with something right now. Everybody, no doubt about it. So you're assimilating now that Uranus is retrograde. And Uranus retrograde, when it goes into those late degrees of Aries after November 6th until January 6th, this is when those late cardinal people are actually resolving and really assimilating the Uranian transit that you had over the past year of your life. And I know for myself, I have Aries rising at about 26 degrees. And my natal Uranus placement is about 25 degrees of Libra, which places it on my descendant, on my partnership axis, the axis of commitment and relationship, business and personal. And so for the past year and a half of my life, transiting Uranus has been conjunct my ascendant and simultaneously opposite my natal Uranus, which is known as the Uranus opposition. It's a 180-degree aspect, opposition. And we all get this transit at some point in our lives between the ages of 42 and 44. It's called the Uranus opposition. It's also known as the astrological midlife crisis, where you are feeling really restless in this area of your life and you yearn for more freedom, liberation from the stale patterns that you've been in relating to wherever Uranus is in your chart. So you seek major changes and you go completely in a different direction very often during the astrological midlife crisis. So fascinating. I love how this video just took a turn. I'm talking about the Uranus station, and now I'm actually teaching you about the astrological midlife crisis, the Uranus opposition. So, all of you, I hope you're interested in this because every one of you will experience this or has experienced it, depending on your age. So, for me, I've been experiencing this astrological midlife crisis, the Uranus opposition, but at the same time, I also have been experiencing transiting Uranus conjunct my ascendant. It's two major Uranian transits that herald significant change in personal identity and relationship, business and personal for myself. And I find it fascinating because now I've had all of my exact mathematical hits because, again, I said I have a 26-degree Aries rising, but it's actually 25 degrees, 42 minutes. You round up, 26 degrees. But Uranus is going to get really close to that mark when it goes stations direct on January 6th at 28.5 degrees. So I know that I'm actually going to feel that. There is an orb of influence with this energy, guys. So even though my exact mathematical hits have passed, I will feel this from now until January. It's kind of like one last revisit of all this relationship chaos and awakening that I've been going through in my personal life and in my business life. Because of the Uranian energy. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the planet Uranus rules astrology and astrologers. And obviously, I am an astrologer. It's what I do for a living. And I have Uranus on an angle. It's on the partnership sector, the seventh house cusp. That is also the area of your chart that rules clients. If you're in a business where you see clients, it is also business partners, anyone you have a committed relationship with. So, what's fascinating as an astrologer to look at with this transit and what I've experienced is how during my Uranus opposition and during transiting Uranus conjunct my ascendant, I did two major Uranian things to propel my business forward in a significant way. One of them was launching my own podcast, the Insightful Astrology Podcast, and I launched that in May of 2017, the end of May 2017. And if you guys don't know that I have a podcast, by the way, I do. I'm on break from summer. New episodes start again in September. And you can find my podcast on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Play, or on my website, insightfulastrology.com. You could go scroll down, listen to any episodes that you'd like, chock full of information. I have all sorts of metaphysical guests, and I do live readings for callers at the end of the show with my guests. It's a lot of fun. So I was finding my voice again as an astrologer. That was a big part of this transit for me. It wasn't just about my personal relationships. It was about my career as an astrologer and finding my voice again my unique Uranian voice, right? So I started the podcast, Uranus Rules Technology, the internet. It was a podcast, astrology podcast, and it became very successful, actually, in a very short time. I have almost 350,000 subscribers to that podcast right now. So it's the most popular thing that I've done since writing my horoscope columns and having them syndicated years ago. Uh, so it really awakened me and made me come alive again. Remember, I always tell you guys, a Uranus transit is meant to make you come alive. Sometimes it does it in an uncomfortable way, but often it does it in just this liberating, exhilarating way, especially if it's a conjunction, sextile, or trine. I feel like I'm not seeing your comments in live time. I feel like your comments are not moving. But anyway, so I apologize. I'm like the comments are just frozen. That's what I'm staring at, frozen comments. So, in any event, that was the first thing I did for my business, the podcast, launching the podcast during this double Uranus transit that I had. And the second thing that I did this past May of 2018 was I relaunched my YouTube channel and I started doing astrology videos again in a very different, unique way because for years I had them professionally filmed and syndicated and shown throughout various venues. And then that ended, that stage of my career ended. And I didn't do videos for a while because I'm such a technology dummy and so afraid of technology. I just didn't know how to do it. And I finally got restless enough and pushed myself to do it. And they've been extremely well received so far. So I thank all of you for that. And so those are some examples of how the Uranus transit affected my life in terms of business partnerships and and client relationships. Okay, uh, now Uranus has absolutely affected my relationship and personal life. Uranus is not known for stability in relationships, but it's known for excitement. And I needed to come alive again in terms of my love life and relationship life. And I'm not going to get into that whole story again, but as you know from other videos, that certainly happened to me with a very whirlwind, but short lived and not committed romance that awakens me in a significant way. So no regrets there. But you guys now, Uranus has stationed retrograde and you've had your first hit. And now you know what UFO you're looking at. And it's time for you to accept it. Accept the UFO because it ain't going anywhere. And you've got to learn how to deal with it. And you will. And for those of you late born cardinal degree people, you guys are assimilating it from November to January into your life. And you're going to see the fruits of your labor if you work with the Uranian energy. Remember, Uranus's job is to get you out of a rut. No more stale energy. No more doing what you've always done. You've got to do something different with Uranus. You have to, have to, have to. Okay? So don't fight it. The more you fight it, the more uncomfortable it's going to be for you. So oh, Keith, you've got 1 degree Taurus rising. So you're just starting to experience the transit that I told you guys I've just finished. So you are coming alive again in terms of having to express your personal identity in a way that you never have before in order to claim your individuality, in order to come alive again and show the world your unique self. And that is the process that you're going through while transiting Uranus is conjunct your ascendant. You had that first hit between May 15th and yesterday when Uranus stationed retrograde. So now, from now till November, you're going to have that second hit and you're going to start to accept it, accept what changes have to be made. All right. So, yes, Bridget, 2 degrees Aquarius rising. So, Uranus is square your ascendant. That's an uncomfortable energy because you know that that the changes that you have to make, uh, people are really not going to recognize recognize what you're doing. Somebody else says Uranus is going to conjunct your midheaven next year. Sherry. Okay, so Uranus will conjunct your MC next year. You're close to retirement, so you don't need a new career. What could this transit mean? Can I just tell you, I know so many people who've had transiting Uranus conjunct the midheaven, And I mean, they've become famous during that transit. I have quite a few friends who are extremely renowned in their field, metaphysical fields, Uranian fields. So, to me, retirement, all retirement means is that one phase of your career path is over, but the 10th house is your calling in life. It's the legacy that you want to leave, Sherry, in your life. And I'm going to assume that you've got at least another 20 or 30 years ahead of you. Okay. So there is something new on the horizon for you. And Uranus is calling your attention to what's next. What is the next chapter of my professional existence, of my calling in life? And with Uranus conjunct the midheaven, it's going to be unusual in some way. It's going to help you feel liberated. It's going to possibly involve technology, possibly involve the sciences or astrology, metaphysical sciences, very possibly something unusual, something that gives you freedom. And the liberation, being retired is liberating, right? Because you are no longer chained to a desk or certain expectations or a boss or a certain career path. So just the fact that Uranus is conjunct your midheaven while you're retiring, that in and of itself is very reflective, very reflective. So I hope that helps. Trying to get some of your comments here because you guys are giving me good comments today. Oh, I'm glad you're excited. Uranus is also conjunct your sun, Sherry. So it's a double. It's like you're going through a double transit. You're going to come alive again. Listen, I'm a Taurus sun also, but I'm 17 degrees. So I have to wait a few more years before transiting Uranus is conjunct my sun. I know that for me, that's going to be a great transit. I'm looking forward to it, and I know for us Taurus people, these kinds of changes are not easy because we resist change like nobody's business. We are so good at trying to resist change. But with Uranus and Taurus, man, that's impossible. It's just completely impossible. So somebody's asking me if Uranus can help with weight and diet. Okay. I will tell you, Dean, the best transit to have to lose weight is actually a Saturn transit because Saturn restricts and crystallizes and helps us become very disciplined. And quite often, when you have transiting Saturn go over your ascendant, or, sorry, I'm very fidgety today, or go into your sixth house of health, those are, or even connecting to your sun, that's a point of your physical body. The ascendant and the sun are physical body points. So when Saturn is connected to those areas, you lose weight. When Jupiter connects to those areas, you gain weight. You tend to gain weight. Uranus, I don't know that Uranus has an effect on weight loss per se. Uranus gives you the jittery energy, the energy of you're caffeinated. Actually, the way that I'm acting right now, okay, I am technically under the influence of Uranus. And yeah, I know I'm drinking iced coffee, but it's like a transit where you've got caffeine going in your veins. You're caffeinated. So from that perspective, yes, I guess Uranus can help you lose weight because you're going to be moving around more. But it isn't Taurus, and I don't know. We Taurians, we like our food, so it's a toss up, honestly, if you ask me. So let's see. What else do I want to tell you guys about Uranus retrograde? Any other questions? I think I said everything I wanted to say about Uranus retrograde, and I hope my little teaching moment explanation of the transits and each pass over a point in your chart. I hope that was helpful. I hope it wasn't too advanced and over your head because I don't know, I could go all over the place. Let's see. So what else? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You're awesome too. So what else is going on? Gosh, I told you I have my kids' birthday parties this weekend. My son Vincent's turning 19. My daughter Anna Maria is turning 17. I don't know how I got to the point in my life where I have kids that old. I don't feel like I should, but I do. I'm happy about that. Actually, I had my kids. Now I feel like I have the second half of my life open road. Open road. I'm considering all sorts of things, crazy things actually. If you follow me on Facebook, you hear me talking about possibly applying for dual citizenship in Italy. I recently, well, I've known this actually for a while. My father was born and raised in Italy, so in Naples. So that makes me a first generation Italian. And there's a law in Italy. I this might be for all European countries. I don't know, but definitely Italy that you have a bloodline right to claim citizenship, to be an Italian citizen if one of your parents was born in that in the country and was an Italian citizen at the time of your birth. So my father was still an Italian citizen when I was born. He became an American citizen in the 1980s, I think. So me, my brother, my sister, all three of us have the legal right to dual citizenship, to become a citizen of Italy and maintain American citizenship. And I have a Sagittarius moon. So I am so geeked out over that, okay, because there's this international other culture thing with me. And also my Saturn and my Mars are in Cancer. And so with the planets in Cancer, and those planets are hugging my fourth house cusp of home and family. So people with planets in Cancer are really into uh, heritage and culture and memories and family traditions. So I am very tied to my Italian heritage and my roots. I love my culture. I have such a beautiful culture that I'm extremely proud of, and such an amazing, gigantic, pain in the ass Italian family. And I grew up surrounded by this big giant Italian family where everyone spoke Italian. And so we'd have large Sunday dinners at Nona's house. That's Italian for grandma. Growing up, and my aunts, my uncles, cousins, everybody would be there every Sunday. And you would hear constant conversation from the older relatives, from all the aunts, uncles, my father, my Nona. They would all talk Italian to each other. And us kids, the cousins, we grew up listening to this. Don't ask me why I'm not fluent in Italian. It is my one of my greatest regrets in life. I don't know how I'm not fluent in Italian. I studied Italian in school. I actually got an award for speaking Italian when I was 13 or 14. There is, for whatever reason, my brain forgot Italian and I never became fluent the way that I wanted to. I joke that I only speak two languages fluently, astrology and English, because astrology is a language. So my father is going to be 70 in October 5th. And so I kind of want me, my brother, and my sister to claim our dual citizenship and apply for it and get it in time for his 70th birthday. I just think that would be such a cool thing, a great way to honor my father, a great way to honor my culture. And, I'm not going to lie, I rewatched that movie Under the Tuscan Sun a couple of weeks ago. And I said to myself, I'm a writer. I can work from anywhere in the world. I have clients from all over the world already. All I need to work is a good internet connection and a telephone. That's all. I could work anywhere in the world. Wouldn't it be great to have a villa in Italy where I can go whenever I want and work? My father has talked for years about living in Italy for 6 months out of the year and living here for 6 months out of the year, that kind of thing. And I'm at this point in my life where I'm going to be moving in a year. You might have heard me talk about this. I'm, going to be house hunting soon and moving in a year. And I'm thinking to myself, why limit myself? Yes, I'll always be an American. Yes, I'll always have roots in New York specifically. I'll never truly leave New York. But wouldn't it be cool to have the option to live in a country where I'm actually embraced as a citizen and have rights as a citizen? And I can get that. I'm in no rush, so I'm not worried about the red tape, but it would be cool to have the process done for my dad's 70th birthday. We talked about it over Sunday dinner last week at my dad's house. My brother, my sister, and myself. We did talk about it. So I think I'm going to do it, but I have to. I feel like I have to learn Italian. I feel like I have to really be fluent in Italian if I'm going to do this. And I don't think I'll be moving there permanently anytime soon because I won't leave my children. They're still young. They're only 17 and 19. So realistically, I'm not going to buy a villa and live there within the next year. But it'll be cool to have the option open, right? So let's see. Hmm, what else do I want to tell you guys? What else is going on? I have not checked my astrocartography for Italy, believe it or not. That I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to do that. Astrocartography. That would be interesting to see where my lines fall and how life would really be for me in Italy. So what E.E. Dean is talking about is if you guys are born in a certain locality, your birth chart is set for your date, time, and location, latitude and longitude of birth. And this creates the mathematical structure of your birth chart, right? And that's your permanent horoscope. However, if you relocate someplace far enough during your lifetime that significantly changes the latitude and longitude, there's something called a relocated chart that you could look at, and there's something called astrocartography, which reveals where certain lines are in your chart and where they relocate. So, for example, I have the Uranus line on my ascendant descendant axis in my current birth chart that I was born with. That symbolizes a lifetime of instability potentially in marriage, sudden divorce, sudden changes in relationships, and that has been true in my lifetime so far in New York. If I move to Italy, however, that line is going to shift to a different part of my chart. And I wonder where it's going to be. And for all I know, I could have a Jupiter line now across my ascendant descendant axis. That would be pretty cool because that would symbolize amazing happiness. Maybe the man of my dreams is in Italy. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. I'm gonna look as soon as I finish this live stream. I'm really interested now. So, okay. Uh, we're talking about so many different things. You guys are really funny. I would do more of these at home. I have to do them when nobody's home because I get very distracted with all the teenagers in my house. And today, everybody's at work or out doing something. So I'm so at peace because I really like being alone and having peace and quiet. So it was a great day for me. I had one client today in peace. I finished a column in peace. I was able to do a YouTube video now. This is awesome. Pretty soon I'll hear the beep, 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 and the kids are going to come crawling in saying, "What's for dinner?" So, you know what's for dinner in my house tonight? Have any of you ever eaten escarole and beans? I made escarole and beans and salmon. So escarole and beans is delicious if you've never had it. Uh, it's, of course, an Italian dish. And I do love to cook. I used to have an internet um, cooking show, astrology cooking show called Bite Sized Astrology. And it's actually on my YouTube channel. If you search my YouTube channel, I think it's one season, 8 episodes or 9. And I would cook from my kitchen and talk about different facets of astrology. So I had so much fun doing that show. I swear to God, if the Food Network picked it up, I'd be in heaven. I would be in total heaven doing cooking and sharing astrology with you guys. So check it out. There are some really fun episodes. It's called Bite Sized Astrology, and it is on my YouTube channel. But anyway, escarole and beans, salmon. That's what's for dinner tonight. And uh, yeah, Taurus makes a great cook, Keith. Taurus, Virgo, and Cancer. If you have Taurus, Virgo, or Cancer energy in your chart, you are a great cook. Uh, Cancer and Taurus blends, especially. Wow, we're the best cooks and the best moms, I have to say. The best parents. I shouldn't say just moms because men too. The best parents are Taurus Cancer blends. the best cooks. And I added Virgo to that because Virgo energy is very precise and exacting. So they're going to get those recipes just right. They're going to make them, you know, really, really good. So let's see. What else? What else do you want to talk about before I sign off? Keep me here if you want me here. I don't know. I'm out of ideas. I know you're a good cook, Cancer lady, Bernadette. No doubt in my mind. You Taurus and Cancers, you're all great cooks. So, what else is going on in my life? Geez, this eclipse coming up. This is a really karmic eclipse for my family. All right, we can talk about that if you want. This is a really karmic eclipse for my family because my son Vincent is an eclipse baby. And eclipses repeat by exact degree and sign every 19 years to the day. So back on August 11th, 1999, we had this eclipse at 18 Leo. And my son Vincent was born August 10th at 8:35 p.m. in 1999. And so he is an eclipse baby. Sun, Moon, North Node, all conjunct in Leo. Uh, he was born hours before the eclipse happened. And when you are born at an eclipse, there's a very special karmic obligation that your soul has. And for my son, he has a lot of, it's almost like he was put in charge of balancing a lot of family karma in his lifetime. Very, very interesting to look at his chart that way. But it was significant for me, obviously, because I became a mother. This is the eclipse that made me a mother. And it falls in my fifth house of children, of love, lovers, creativity, creative endeavors. So 19 years ago, when this eclipse happened, I literally became a mother. Now, the themes of an eclipse tend to repeat. Obviously, I'm not going to become a mother again. I can't have children anymore anyway. And I don't, shop is closed. But that fifth house activation is there. So it's either going to be a great new love, a great new creative endeavor, or something significant with my son Vincent. That's now going to be happening. And to be honest, I think it's all three. I really do. I think that I know that there's a great new love coming. I'm certain of it. Certain of it. I still don't know if it's connected to the old or if it's brand new. Intuitively, I kind of think I might have a choice between that by the end of the year, but we'll see. And I'll let you know. But right now, I got nothing. But this eclipse is going to put that into place. And there are major developments in my son's life right now. There, he's becoming an adult, a true adult at 19. And creative endeavors. I mean, gosh, this is such a creative endeavor for me. You have no idea. Just doing this. I never thought a year ago I'd be sitting doing live YouTubes with you guys. Not a thought in my head. And so I'm actually getting really into YouTube now, more than I thought I would. And so I think that's going to keep moving forward with this eclipse energy. I just got a marriage proposal on YouTube. Thank you, John. I don't know you, but you're very sweet. Get in line. Oh my gosh. Okay, look at this. I get all the marriage proposals from men that I don't know who are not really in my life. The men that I do know who are really in my life run the other way. This is Uranus on the descendant. So um, this eclipse is just so fascinating to study because it is happening at a time when so many planets are retrograde in the sky. Mars is still retrograde. Mercury is retrograde close to the degree of the eclipse. Uranus just turned retrograde. We've got Pluto retrograde, Neptune retrograde. I mean, it's Saturn's retro. Is Saturn retrograde? Yeah, Saturn's retrograde too. It's like almost everything is retrograde. And because of that, we're pulled deeply into the past. And yet, the solar eclipse is a new moon. By definition, what is a new moon? Brand new beginnings, a new start. And an eclipse, a solar eclipse, is a profound, accelerated, faded new start in your life, wherever this eclipse falls in your chart. So again, I've said this before, go watch your August video horoscope if you haven't, so that you know where this eclipse is falling. And so that you understand where your new start is. And the new start is either going to involve something old in your life, or it's going to involve something brand new that will be right in front of you as soon as you resolve something old in your life. Different for everybody. It will be different for everybody. And while I'm talking about the videos, I just want to mention it is very important to watch for your sun sign and your rising sign. Do not just watch for one or the other. Here's my take on it. The sun sign is important because it will explain the major themes that are happening in your life. The themes that are in the background of your life. Okay? That's the sun sign energy for all of you. But the ascendant, the reason why you have to watch for your ascendant or rising sign is because it is much closer to mathematical precision of your actual birth chart. There is no possible way that consultation with myself or another astrologer. However, if you watch for your rising sign, chances are the math is much more specific to the time period that the predictions are being given. So that will be what you're experiencing in August if you watch for your rising sign. And your sun sign is going to be the overarching theme of what's also happening in your life in the background over a wider time span. So does that make sense? Does that give you guys a good explanation of why you want to watch for your sun and your rising sign, not just one? Yeah. Somebody just asked me if I read chicken bones. Is that a thing? Reading chicken bones? I don't read chicken bones, but I eat chicken. Okay, so now someone's asking me about the moon, watching for the moon. I am, I mean, you're gonna, I might be one of the only people on YouTube who says this. I don't even know. But when it comes to astrology, I really am a purist. I feel like genius is knowing what's important. I feel like the real be all and end all truly is a proper consultation where an astrologer is looking at your birth chart. Having said that, I can walk right into your life and your experiences when I talk to you about your sun sign and your rising sign. I know I can. Okay. It's what I do. But beyond that, if you're going to look for your moon sign and your Venus sign and everything else, you're diluting the messages too much, in my opinion. If you want to look beyond your sun sign and your rising sign, get a proper consultation because the messages are going to be a little bit diluted and lost in translation. And it's I think it's a waste of your time, to be honest. That's just my opinion. Okay. Anyway, so I got two marriage proposals and I got a future life marriage proposal by Richard. So in his next life, I'm going to be marrying Richard. Oh, you guys are so funny. So Bernadette, you want to know how you can get to me directly for a consultation? Go to my website, insightfulastrology.com. And there's a menu tab up on top for consultations. You can do a personal consultation. You can get a coaching package from me if you want more for us to be in touch over a year time span, every couple of months to check in and look deeper at your astrology and help you work towards something specific in your life or untangle some psychological knots that are holding you back in your life. Remember, I do have a background in psychology, guys. And so I do combine in my counseling, I combine astrological wisdom and insights and all of that mystical knowledge with very practical grounded advice. I am a Taurus. I'm a practical astrologer. But I'm always so fascinated by the mystical, spiritual, psychic part of it because it does open up your intuition. No doubt about it. I fought it for years in the beginning. I didn't want to I always had to have the proof. I always had to have, no, this aspect is why this is happening, or this explains it. And I always go back to the astrology and explaining it because I am an astrologer and that's what I do. And so I teach my students, yeah, it's going to open up your intuition, but you do have to explain it astrologically. Find it in the astrology. But I constantly find myself saying something to a client and then having to go back and see it astrologically because that's how strong it really does open up your intuition, really does. And now I totally trust it. But I also have a Moon Neptune conjunction in my eighth house, and that is a very psychic placement. It's in the sign of Sagittarius. So there are some really psychic placements in my birth chart. I have Jupiter in Pisces in the 12th house. I have Venus in Aries in the 12th house. Mars is in Cancer, hugging the fourth house cusp. And so the Moon Neptune conjunction, huge, and North Node of destiny, where I'm supposed to be going in this lifetime, also in the eighth house. So there's a lot of psychic energy in my horoscope. I did a whole study on that years ago, and I did a presentation. It was a lot of fun. I actually, oh, thank you guys. Oh, thanks. My webmaster is great. If you go to my website, you're going to be like, oh, wow, she has a nice website. I have to say, I'm a technology idiot, really, but I have the best webmaster in the world. I can't even tell you. If it wasn't for her, I probably would not be able to have done this in the beginning. But that's a whole other story. She's an amazing, amazing human being. Pam, I love you if you're watching this. So, um, what else did I want to tell you guys? What else? What else? Any other questions? Questions? If you're looking for coupons, go sign up for my newsletter. Sometimes I do specials. Not, I'll be honest, not too often because of time. I have a lot going on in my career. I don't know if you know this, but I write horoscope columns every day. I am syndicated and millions of people read my horoscope columns. And so my columns are syndicated through Turo.com. And I am writing every single day. I do a weekly love column, I do a monthly love column, a monthly general column, and I also do the year ahead content. So I just finished up writing all 2019 content. It's like I'm writing a book every couple of months. That's how much writing I do. So I have that. I have a teaching practice where I teach students and I take on a set of 15 brand new students every year and I nurture them and take them as far as they want to go. And I'm very committed to them. So that takes up a nice part of my business time. And then I have my consulting practice where I see clients. And in between all of that, I'm also doing my podcast every week and the videos. So I really, and I'm a single mommy of two teenagers. So I've got a lot going on, and sometimes I do offer specials, but usually I do that through my newsletter. So sign up for the free newsletter and look out for it. And whoever asked me that question, if you email me, I will give you a coupon code. Okay, because you specifically asked. I think that was Keith. So you can go to my contact form on my website, send me an email, and remind me about this conversation, and I'll send you a coupon code. Okay? Would love to talk to you and help you look at your real astrology. So, all right, you know what? Now I feel like I have to do this for all of you. I feel bad. All right, so anybody who is watching this video and wants a proper consultation with me, if you email me, today's August 8th, if you email me by August 10th, okay? Because I know there's a lot of you. I will send you a coupon code, but beyond August 10th, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm just really busy. I'm so scheduled. Oh my God, if you knew how super scheduled I was, I want to show you my calendar. I'm very old school. Everybody has their calendars and stuff on a computer. No, not me. Not Maria. Maria has a date book, has a normal calendar that she writes all of her appointments and her writing deadlines and all of her time commitments. I'm so old school. By the way, you want a great recommendation? Jim Maynard's astrology calendar, the best in the industry, the best. Here's why. This is how I write my horoscope columns. Okay, you go to what's his website? What's this website? QuicksilverProductions.com. Man, I should get a kickback from this, right? But honestly, it's a fabulous product because the astrology calendar and the date book and all the products, you can order it for your time zone. And what I love about this astrology calendar that sets it apart from any other on the market is that it has the page of the actual ephemeris with the month and the aspects. So I can write my horoscope columns and all I need is the calendar in front of me and my little wheels that I have for writing each sign. And this is also how I do the videos, guys. You probably have seen this on camera. So um, great calendar if you're an astrologer or an astrology enthusiast and you like to have your calendars. That's my recommendation. Okay. So Sherry, my email address, you have to go to my website, insightfulastrology.com, and fill out the contact form. If I gave my private email address, I would never be able to keep up with the emails. It's cleaner that way. So please do that. Just go and fill out the contact form. I am pretty quick with emails because I have Aries energy. So I get like email anxiety. I don't like to keep people waiting. I really don't. Same thing with scheduling clients. You know, this is such a time sensitive thing. When somebody comes to you for an astrology consultation, they need help with their cycles now. They need help with their life and their timing now. And so I know so many people in the industry, psychics especially, who have waiting lists that are 1 years, 2 years, 5 years. I can never let that happen as an astrologer. If it gets to that point, I would stop. I would stop seeing clients because not that I'll stop. I mean, stop until I catch up. Okay, I wouldn't have a waiting list that long because I think that that's a ridiculous thing to do if you're an astrologer. If you're an astrologer and your waiting list gets beyond, 3 months, let's say, it's time to stop taking new clients and work with the people that you have because people are coming to an astrologer for time sensitive advice. That's what sets astrologers apart from other psychics. Psychics will tell you what's going on. Astrologers will tell you what's going on and when it's going to happen, potentially, right? There's always free will. So, all right. Oh, you feel some positive vibration after watching me. Thank you. Can I tell you, this is a cool story. Last week, last Tuesday, actually, I don't know if you okay. It's going to be two stories in one. We're just chatting now, guys. So I serve as the president of an astrology organization called it's the National Council for Geocosmic Research, and I am the president of the Long Island, New York chapter. And so, if you guys are interested in learning more about astrology and astrology organizations in your area, it is in the United States, there are chapters in every state, almost every state. Go to geocosmic.org and find your chapter, your local chapter, and start going to meetings and learn astrology and mingle with other astrologers. Okay, if you happen to be in New York and the Long Island area, come to my chapters meetings. Our website is lincgr.org. That's the Long Island chapter, but the national is geocosmic.org, and you can find your local chapter. But anyway, back to the story. So I currently serve as the president for the chapter, and I got a phone call from a former president many years ago. Her name is Pat, and she was supposed to give a lecture at the Great Neck Long Island Library on astrology and relationship compatibility. And she had to have surgery, and her recovery turned out to be a little bit longer than she expected. So she called me and asked me to take her spot. And I hadn't done a physical presentation in years because with my situation as a single mom, things started happening where I couldn't travel. I couldn't. I always had to be available to pick up somebody from school, to take them everywhere. I did everything on my own. So it was very difficult for me to do in-person commitments. And that's why I built my business on the internet. And so I'm now able and free to accept these types of invitations. So I said to Pat, of course I'll help. And I went last week to the library and I spoke, and I mean, there were almost 50 people in the audience, and it was such a fun experience. And I had so much fun, and the energy was great. And exactly what you said in your comment about my vibration made you feel better. I was being told that by everybody in the audience. They were coming up to me after saying, "Oh my God, I love your energy. I love the way you present. You're so, you make it so interesting and blah, blah, blah." I was like, wow, thank you. It just made me feel so good because these people who I had never connected with were genuinely interested in learning more about astrology. And to be able to inspire people like that feeds my Sagittarius moon like you would not believe. I was just like all geeked out and all excited. And so now I kind of want to do more public presentations because of it. I really do. I'm like, if somebody organizes an event and asks me to speak, I'm doing it. If it's in New York, I'll do it. If it's, if the right situation. I was even thinking about starting to go to maybe bookstores or, coffee shops and maybe starting to do some talks in on the Long Island area more often because I really enjoyed connecting with people in person. And that is probably what I've been missing out on the most in my career. And that's probably also why I'm enjoying doing these videos so much because it's been years and years of me connecting with people on the phone or on a podcast or on Skype, doing videos, but not interacting. And I am craving more of that actual interaction. So it was a really cool experience. Oh, you guys are having your own conversation here. There's like a whole side conversation going on here. Okay. Well, you guys enjoy your little coffee clutch. Okay. Well, wow, it's over an hour. This is officially my longest live stream ever. I should get going. You guys are beautiful. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the astrology banter. I hope you had a good takeaway and understanding of Uranus going retrograde and everything else we ended up talking about. In the next week or so, I'll start getting the September forecasts out. September is going to be a great month. Oh, heads up. Great month. Great, great month. So all of the stress and chaos that we're experiencing now, I promise you it's going to settle down for September. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. I'm going to go enjoy my salmon and my escarole and beans with whoever shows up. And if not, I'll just sit and eat with my dog. Me and Maple. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. Love you.